Hey, welcome back to a new episode for this Warhammer 40k Rock Trader playthrough. We are on the Void Ship in this episode. We are starting from the Void Ship Shrine. We need to do a couple of things here. There are a couple of puzzles that we need to solve. And we can also speak with this Confessor Adalbert. And I think also if we pray to this Emperor statue or whatever this is, I think we can remove our debuffs. So first thing first, I'm gonna start by checking this thing, because this will start a puzzle, as you can see here. So I think the correct sequence is I think I might be wrong, but I think it is far right. I might be wrong.
How may I serve the dynasty?
I think it's it might be right. Let me check. Doesn't work? Seriously?
I'm restless.
Do I need to press it first? I think I need to press it, right?
You consult the appropriate treaties on.
Let me go again. So I think before starting the puzzle we need to press this, right? Yeah. Okay, so these things will go up. So I know for sure that first is this one, I think. Apparently not. If it's not this one, it means it's this one.
Marching on.
One of those. Did it open? No? Let me check this one then. Okay, so this one opened this. Okay. Next.
Did I mention that
is
my
this one?
whispers tell me jokes?
Nope.
Jokes that once said aloud make your eyes bleed and blood curdle. Talk about black comedy.
Problem is, if we do not
We are the
trigger the correct sequence, it will not work,
How may I
right?
serve the dynasty?
So is not like this.
Your
Okay.
seneschal is always there for you.
So is this one?
My whispers crave
This one.
entertainment. The Emperor
I think it's this
sets my
one
path.
next. Yeah,
I guide
this,
humanity
and the
between
last one
the
it's here.
stars.
Yeah. Okay. So this should basically trigger the puzzle, and this will give us a really nice weapon,
Something. It's about time.
right? It's this unquenchable fury mace. It might be good for Abelard, to be honest. His chainsaw, it's really nice also. Let's grab it. No, let's grab it. Okay. Next, what I'm gonna do is
Shall prevail.
speak with another NPC here that will give us a quest.
Awaits.
I think we need to pick up Argenta. I think this one or the other one. I think this one is with a puzzle also. Initiate Zeke, the broad-shouldered young priest, makes the sign of Aquila. The Emperor protects your lordship. How may I be of service? Who are you? Initiate Zeke, your lordship. I recite prayers and help Confessor Adalbert with the rites. What is this relic next to you? The initiate looks over the sarcophagus. The skeleton within is clutching an orb made of many tightly fitted hoops covered in glyphs. A mysterious object, but undeniably a holy one. It was donated by a group of pilgrims who studied the legacy of the great missionary Nadine Aleinikov. They believed there was something inside that only someone truly righteous was meant to have. One of the pilgrims was so desperate to witness the moment of the orb's opening that they bequeathed their body to us. Cassia, riddle. Cassia's eyes light up with curiosity. It will be most interesting to learn what is stored inside. Lord Captain, would you like to try opening the orb? Do you have any ideas on how to open this orb? Initiate Zeke. One of your predecessors was the last to attempt solving this relic's mystery. It happened a long time ago before Lady Theodora was born. That's all I know. Why not just disassemble it? To damage a relic is an unthinkable crime, and to use force to bypass the test of wisdom and fate it contains a terrible blasphemy. Open the reliquary. I'm going to try to solve the mystery of the orb. The initiate opens the lock and hands you the orb. Someone has already moved the hoops around, trying to arrange the letter into meaningful sentences. It will only take a few rotations for the orb to split cleanly into 4 parts, each with its own question. The answer should presumably be formed using adjoint hoops. Form the question in the orb's first quarter. My light reach everywhere, the grid will see me in gold. The scholars in humanity's cradle, but only the righteous will serve me within their souls. I think it's throne. For better or worse, something clicks inside the orb. Form the question in the second quarter. I am within every human, and my loss is feared, for without me comes the end. But give me to the Emperor, and you will be eternal. This should be blood. Another soft click comes from inside the orb. For the question in the orb's third quarter. I am poison, I am perdition, I am disgrace. Burn me, eradicate me, or perish. Rejected by the Emperor. Its weakness. With a click, the hoop settles into place. Form the question in the orb's remaining quarter, and I think right now Cassia will help us. In your body, mind, and soul, you must possess me. I am no mere absence of stains. I bring you closer to him. If I recall the page of Life of Nadine Aleinikov correctly, this part speaks about purity. The saints saw it as the quintessence of all other virtues, and I think it's purity. Okay, so we get this missionary oath. The orb comes alive. Its hoops shifts around with alarming speed, coming together and folding into each other until the orbs open completely, laying its treasure bare. So we receive these once per combat. If the wearer does not use any abilities during their turns, they can end their turn immediately. Grant all adjacent allies an extra turn with 1 AP. Okay, it's not that great. We can sell it as a cargo. The initiate stares at the relic in your hand stunned. How strange and exciting it is to behold a holy object that has lain hidden from the eyes for many years. Truly it is a great day upon which the rogue trader himself has revealed the legacy of great missionaries to us all. Okay.
A new challenge for me?
Right now I'm gonna speak with this initiate Klatos because I think he has a quest or a side job. The machine in the shrine confession emits a loud hum as it processes the congruent vox recordings. Okay. Initiate Clotus. A lanky initiate is leaning over the cogitator, an expression of extreme mental effort on his face. His fish-like round eyes peer into the screen. Grant me understanding, master. Grant me wisdom. He winces as you approach. Your lordship, how can I be of service? Who are you and what do you do here? I am Clotus, a junior cleric. I saw recordings from the shrine confessional to pass on the higher-ranking clergy. Tell me more about this confessional. Our parishioners come here to repent, to share their innermost thoughts and observation on of their neighbors. The sacred machine records all confessions and alters the voices beyond recognition. Is there a way to find out who made which confession? There is not. Clotus shakes his head resolutely. That will undermine the usefulness of it. The first prototype wasn't anonymous, so those confessions might as well have been carbon copies of each other. Everyone was incapably diligent and pious and whatnot, but as soon as the machine spirit started keeping the name secret, the parishioners opened up. Good thinking, making it anonymous. Keep up the fine work. Okay, so if we had this heretical, we could have had another choice. I will endeavor to do so, your lordship. I have other questions. What does your lordship wish to know? It appears you are having difficulties. Nothing escapes your lordship's notice. As it is so happen, I am struggling to categorize 3 rather peculiar confessions. I will have dared tell you about them, but I think they may have been left by senior officers, which will make this matter a highest order, one that is far beyond my meager understanding. These confessions, you see, are far from being example of pious conformity. I dread the very thoughts of dissent of heresy poisoning the minds of some of the most eminent members of the crew, but I cannot change what I heard. He bows his head in reverence. I cannot share this with anyone but the Emperor's anointed, nor can I allow anyone but your lordship to listen to these messages protected by the secrecy of confession. What makes you think these confessions were made by senior officers? These parishioners are well spoken, meaning they are used to addressing an audience. Perhaps they issue orders and are vested with power, and well, after categorizing so many confessions, I have learned to notice the subtle differences between them. Let me hear them. The initiate, step aside, putting the cogitated at your disposal. Recording 17 FL2, Alec, Dissent, and Pious Doubt. One question has troubled me for years. Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living and preserve the memory of the dead? Worthier and more luminous soul has been lost, and yet I'm still here. Light static is distorting the recording, but you are confident that the speaker is male. Recording 134 DU, Alec, theft of ship property. The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essential, but every so often I consider increasing the ration and ordering more sets of clothes for them. That will not replace the families they lost, but I will improve their lives somewhat, especially given that the ship has enough resources to cover that comparability trivial expenses. Despite the poor sound quality, you determine the voice to be male. Sounds like Argenta, but since this is male, I don't think is her. Commerce test fail. You do not know who on the ship is in charge of the orphans, if anyone. Okay. Recording 502 Alec, coded message Irvine. Lop-eared Klippas display a high degree of socialization both among their kind and toward their owners. These animals adjust well to avoid ship's lower gravity since it's similar to their homewards condition. Lop-eared Klepa meat is edible should necessity demands it. The voice sounds muffled as true from behind a thicker layer of glass, but is unmistakably a woman. Step away from the cogitator. The initiate look at you intrigued, but does not say a word. I'm curious to know who left this confession. I will seek them out. I suppose those confessions truly are special. If your lordship is giving them his personal attention, the initiate bows deeply. Never will have imagined the rogue trader himself coming to my aid. Regarding your confession sorting problem, have you come up with something, your lordship? Nope. Of course, your captain. I will leave to your concerns. The initiate replies very solemnly, I labor for the glory of the Emperor and the House von Valacius. Okay, so what do we got? Troubling confession. Senior officer will be a good starting point for investigating who left these messages. Who are these senior officers? I think we need to go on the bridge, right, before doing this. Okay. Okay, these are... nope. are some lore impurities. I'm gonna cheese these in the dialogue. I don't think I'm gonna do that, because if I'm not save scamming before every dialogue, I cannot come back and basically waste the time. So if we do not pass any dialogue in the dialogue, any check, I think I'm gonna leave it as it is for the moment, but these can be cheesed.
As it should be.
Okay, so she succeeded from the start. That's great.
Follow my lead.
This is not another one. I'm gonna check if there's any checks here. Okay, so there is a commerce one.
Why? Haven't
Okay,
I
I'm
studied
gonna save scam this one, since it's easier and basically we're close to that check. Let's try again.
I
Okay.
did it.
So we leveled up, so that's really nice. Since we level up, let's do it
They say
right
a bit of
now.
humility never hurt anyone.
Okay,
I help
so
others better themselves by
for my main
wholeheartedly
character,
humiliating them
we are
at
still Blade
every
Dancer.
step.
We are close to go to the next archetype, to be honest. So for this level, what level are we? We are level 14. So at level 14, I think I'm gonna pick willpower, because that's the only thing that we'll have here. The thing is, I think in the end we are gonna pick all of them. And I'm gonna pick balancing the edge. So the Blade Dancer can use both a desperate measure and heroic act in the same combat, but not in the same round. Whenever the Blade Dancer uses the desperate measure, they gain +10 weapon skill and +3 resolve. Okay, so that's pretty nice, because this means we can have a lot of leaps, like one after the other. Okay, Abelard. I'm gonna pick for you. What should I pick? I think I'm gonna go with strength, right? Because I think that's the best for the moment. What should I pick? Okay, so for you, I think, should I pick strength? This increases the damage of the weapon. Perception, it's nice, because we can have more checks. Okay, I'm gonna pick this. What should I pick for him? Should I make it a tank or probably a damage dealer? In the guy that I'm using right now, he has a 2-weapon combat picked, so this means that we can use him as probably like a weapon and a pistol. So this is nice, right? The character can attack with the second weapon in their current weapon set, in addition to the usual attack per round. Okay, it's the second weapon. This attack suffers -10 penalty to weapon skill and ballistic skill, and cost 1 AP. So this means that we can use the pistol on him, right? If we put a pistol, let me see, we had this stab reserver, and this means that, no, this is my main character, what I'm doing. So this means we can use this, right? And we can also use the shield. So this means that we can have 2 attacks per round. This is nice, right? Okay. Idira, we are gonna go with intelligence on you. And psychic barrage. Which is it? This one. Whenever the Psyker uses a damaging psychic power on targets that are 6 cells or farther from the Psyker, the targets suffer an additional 4 damage. That's nice. Argenta. For you, we will go with heavy weapon proficiency. Let's see where it is. Melta weapon expert. Okay, so we need melta weapon proficiency to use this, right? But we're gonna do with we go with heavy weapon. Where is it? Heavy weapon proficiency. Reduce the strength required to use heavy weapons by minus 25. That's nice, because we have no strength at all. And we're gonna do either awareness or Lore Imperium. I think I'm gonna go with Lore Imperium. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lore Imperium right now. We have a lot of awareness on my main character, I think. For Cassia, I'm gonna go with Fellowship, since she's an officer. And we are gonna go with Pass and Scattered, or Unscarred. I think it's this one. And Scattered. It's scattered, right? If a navigator's perception is higher than their agility, their dodge is calculated using perception instead. Okay, so that's nice, because we have no agility at all. So she has a lot of commerce. To be honest, we had a 50-50 chance to succeed for that check, and we still didn't. Pasquale, we are gonna go with intelligence on you, but we already had it, so this means that I'm gonna go with perception then, or ballistic skill, either one of these. Should I go with ballistic skill or perception? How much perception do we have? We do not have too much perception. Okay, let's go with the perception. And I'm gonna go with Plasma Bank. We're gonna use a plasma weapon on him. Let's see where it is. Plasma Bank. Reloading a plasma rifle costs -3 AP less, and reloading a plasma pistol costs -1 AP less. Okay, that's nice. So that's it for the moment. We still have another companion to level up, but I'm gonna do that a little bit later. So let's see if there's any more chicks around here. Here there aren't. Can we speak with all of these guys? Okay, we can offer a prayer, but I'm gonna do it after I'm speaking with Confessor Adalbert. Confessor Adalbert, a plump, rosy-cheeked old man, is lighting candles, taking his time with each. Glints of fire dance on his heavy golden aquila and his sky blue eyes as he addresses you, smiling. The Emperor protects your lordship. Are you here to pray, or have mundane matters brought you to me? There is an incredibly profound quality to his voice, and he speaks with mesmerizing timbre. Remind me, what it is you do on my ship? I am the ship's confessor, your lordship. No vessel that abides the Imperium law can sail the void without a spiritual guide. Even a small-sized ship that does not have a member of a clearcy on the board and trust all matters of faith to a layperson who is a staunch adherent of the creed. A rogue trader's flagship naturally is expected to have a confessor who comes from a line of his revered servants. I am such a one. I am entrusted with caring for the reliquary chapel and the dynastic crypt. I also conduct liturgies, consecrated the ship's bay, and strengthen the crew hearts whenever a dark hour is upon us, lest any among them falter in the face of the horror lurking in the darkness and fail in their duty. Tell me, Adalbert, do you visit the shrine confessional to repent as the other officers do? Why? I always find the time for penance on my morning and evening shifts, your lordship. Should we go with the orphans? The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essential, have they not? Do you mean the spiritual nourishment? It is ever in short supply. Those children who are literate could use new prayer books and hagiographies for their own perusal and to read to the others. Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living? An irrelevant question. His face takes an expression of fathom, wisdom and calm. Our fates are in the Emperor's hand and he does as his plans require. I see. It wasn't you. For a moment I thought you had come to confess, but now I see you have taken on the role of cleric yourself. May the Emperor guide you on your quest for answers. Tell me about the dynastic crypt. Every rogue trader takes care to maintain an appropriate place of repose on board their flagship, for the capital may change with the passing of centuries, but the vessel of the Emperor's anointed serves them for millennia. It is more than just a symbol of dynasty's authority, it is the source of its power. The Lord Captains sit in the void whence they reign over their many lands. The Von Valetius crypt is where the rogue traders and their most loyal servants are laid to rest. At the ship's confessor I performed the rites of burial and remembrance for those honored dead. Adalbert lets out a heavy sigh. It never occurred to this old man that he might have to send Lady Theodora on her final journey, but all is the Emperor's will. I would like to find out more about this place. Adalbert smiles warmly at you. I could talk about the reliquary chapel for hours. Is this the only place of worship on the ship? Why, no. There are multiple sancta on every deck where your subjects pray fervently and the clergy keeps a close watch on the firms of their faith. This is, on the other hand, he gestures around at the glittering reliquary, is the holiest of holy places where only the noblest among your servants are permitted to set foot. Let's go with Arcana class. I want those on other decks to be able to partake of this exuberance as well. That's nice. We gain 2 Arcana class. Adalbert's eyebrow arch upward. Truly a most generous and gracious gesture, your lordship. I will arrange for commoners who have distinguished themselves in their service to be allowed in here. An event like that will fill them with fervor and they will pass down the memory of what they have seen to their offsprings. Where does this collection of sacred relics comes from? Every relic we have here was either arduously tracked down by your ancestors, captured in battle against the faithless, or received as a gift for glorious deeds. A show of loyalty to the Emperor that speaks for itself, does it not? He makes no effort to conceal his pride. For our part, we keep the precious relics intact and undisturbed. As we conduct liturgies and perform rites, Initiate Zik is especially diligent in his care for the relic. Though he is common stock, he earned his position through dedication and piety. I have other questions. I will do my best to answer them. I will not want to pick this. I think it will upset him. You are positively beaming with joy. A priest like you is a rare sight. Adalbert laughed good naturally. A fair observation. Everyone knows that the clergy must maintain a stern appearance to inspire fear and awe in their flock. His mirth fades, giving way to a pensive gravitas. The truth is that my clan and I experience great hardship. I cannot explain how it is I am standing before you now except by his will. How could one be anything but joyful knowing they were saved by the Emperor? What happened to your clan? I was scarcely more than a child when the malady struck our cabins. First will come the fever, then the unlucky victim will start retching blood. After that, they will melt away like a candle. Only the youngest survived, myself among them. He smiles feebly. But now my family is growing, and I'm grateful for each new life that replaces one lost. Still, your gentle manner may adversely affect your flock's fate. An accurate observation for a lord who knows the importance of strong faith on his ship. The gentleness you speak of is skin deep. On the inside, my faith and spirit are pure adamantine, decades instructing the crew in his fighting the dangers of the void and the warp have required nothing less. My resolve in the face of the monstrous threats we have faced must always be 100-fold firmer than that one of my flock. I have other topics to discuss. Of course, your lordship. Did Lady Theodora come here often? Your predecessors always had due concern for the reliquary's maintenance and its needs, and under her rule, fate occupied its proper place on this ship. Adalbert gives you a diplomatic smile. People confess to you, do they not? I am interested to know thoughts of some of my subjects. Ours is a throne-fearing flock that regularly leaves Vox recording in the shrine confessional housed in the eastern part of the reliquary. This allows us to maintain constant watch for any heretical tendencies. We can observe earnestly with which our parishioners render their duties, as well as any dangerous dissent brewing in their minds. Initiate Clotus is responsible for sorting the confessions. He will be honored to offer you access to the confessional cogitator. Let's go with this one. I would like to hear the Imperium tenets from you. In a voice of brimming with solemnity, Adalbert begins. Every man and woman has their place in the order he created, and this order must be followed and the will of one's superiors obeyed. Beware of witches, for they have been stained by the war, persecuted mutants, for they are perversions of the human form, and hate the cursed Xenos. We cannot go with this. Let's go with this one. The Imperial Creed prescribes being wary of Psykers, but the Imperium needs them. I can understand, having been touched by the powers of the warp yourself. You are pondering your own essence, Adalbert, not sympathetically. You are right. Without the astropaths, we are deaf and blind, and there are many other Psykers laboring for the good of humanity. That is their place within the Emperor's design, but only those among them who accept his light and have been authorized. Idira scoffs contemptuously. For once in your life, you could just admit that it doesn't take a tongue calloused from prayer to handle the warp's dangers. The Ecclesiarchy tells us to persecute mutants, but an exception was made for navigators. The Navy's nobility are different from most humans, but their difference are a blessing. They are noble servants of the Imperium who help humanity expand its galactic domain. Do you not see that as a higher purpose that pleases the Emperor? Cassia, it is a pleasure to hear that, and like the ignorant rabble, you give due acknowledgement to the greatness of our deeds, Confessor. Among Adeptus Mechanicus, the Emperor is known as the Omnissiah. They have their own form of worship. Do they truly share our beliefs? Most certainly, different likeness of the Emperor and ways of worshipping him can be found across the Imperium's worlds, but we all believe in the one. For the purpose of optimizing the present exchange, I suggest regarding this statement as true. For a competent answer to the question, I recommend addressing this unit as member of the Adeptus Mechanicus clergy. Okay, I'm not gonna go this because it will upset the priest. That will suffice now. As your lordship wishes, I must take my leave. May the Emperor's blessing be with your lordship. Okay. Let's make a prayer. You recite the prayer, the one you remembered best. Okay. Is there anything here? Can we still speak with him? Nope. Let me check again these guys. And then I'm gonna go to the other area. Okay. There is one more area, and then I think we can inquire on the ship main hub and speak with our companions. Okay.
It's about time.
Let's leave to another compartment. We're gonna go to the Astropathic Chapel, right? Yeah, we're gonna pick the same party. Okay. So, right now, what can we do here? There are a lot of chapel servants. I think this is where we... it's basically the radio...
To me, the Immaterium is made of colors, but to the astropaths who dwell in this chapel, it is music.
Cursed music. Why do the astropaths not fill this place with litanies in his name instead?
Okay, so here we need to basically loot everything, and I think we need to repair something here, and then we can speak with our main radio master. I think this is basically the radio area of the ship, but these 40k things are so fucking interesting, and they don't use radios, they use these things. I think we can speak with these guys first. Astropath, protect us from the machine spirit's unrest, for without his gift our sacrifices are fruitless. You can barely hear the voice of the young astropath, standing very still next to the bulky mechanism, his face frozen in a mask of despair. His anemic hands are pressed to his chest, clutching crumbled strips of thick paper. He hears you approach and compose himself. Sigma R87. The engineer, his head lowered, does not so much as glance in your direction. With his hands folded underneath his robe, he makes a barely audible unpleasant sound, a prayer in the Techna Lingua. What is going on here? Astropath. The sacred compiler is ailing, your lordship. A gloom has come over the machine spirit, and they are disturbing the mechanism's operation. The 12th row of the drum is now adding incorrect symbols. The man shows you a stack of paper, and you notice at once that the row of squiggles in each line all end with the same glyph. We summon the servants of the Omnissiah, but the machine spirits are none too eager to heed their prayers. The esteemed engineer is in a state of tech prayer trance and hasn't moved from the spot for a day now. He shrinks his head into his shoulders timidly. I had the audacity to think the sacred compiler could be better held by examining its parts, but who am I to question the secret knowledge of the Adeptus Mechanicus? Pasquale, Unit Sigma R87 is currently in a tech trance of shared comprehension with the spirit of the Archeotech device, catalogued under the name of Stream Spindle. Disturbing the unit is not recommended. Pascal silent for a few seconds. However, a preliminary diagnostic has revealed several algorithmic faults that are in conflict with the sacred mechanism process. A practical intervention into certain cycles will likely aid the release of the accumulated burden. Why such a trifle of an error? Astropath. The young man exclaims in astonishment. Imagine a single extra character creeping its way into the coordinates for a roar pump and sending the flagship to the center of a star. Imagine the words disloyal becoming loyal, resulting in thousands of your faithful servants falling victim to treachery. Nothing is trifle to an astropath. How did you let this happen? Okay, this is a big conversation. Forgive me, your lordship, but I do not know the answer. The astropath lowered his voice to a whisper, glancing to the praying engines here. I'm afraid even the Adeptus Mechanicus don't fully comprehend the workings of this mechanism. We're only knowledgeable on the surface level machines. The receivers commit the message to paper, the transcribers sort the mental imagery by semantic category and feed it into the Thesaurus core, and then the sacred compiler supplements the messages with a list of symbols and their interpretations. However, the mechanism extends far deeper into the bowels of the ship. Therefore, I will even venture a guess at the possible source of this trouble. Let us see if there's any way I can help. Okay, so I think we need to do some checks, right? Like, we can go with this one.
The machine god grants me insight.
I won't tolerate weakness.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Okay, are there any more around here? Yeah, there are a couple more here.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
How many are there? Okay, so there is another logic one here.
Operation successful.
None shall stand in my way.
Okay, so this is the door, basically the living area. Let's see, is there anything here that we can use? So we have this compiler raft of order. Okay, let me check if there is more things that we need to repair. There is another logic one here.
Follow my lead.
Did we succeed all of these? Are there any more here that we need to check? Okay, there is another logic here. Okay, there is one more here.
The machine god grants me insight.
Okay, did we finish this? I think we did. Right, and now I think we can speak again with this astropath. Your lordship, the astropath smiles at you. The shy, awkward smile of someone unused to smiling. The sacred mechanism is working again with no disruptions. With a trembling hand, the Psyker hands you a strip of paper with smooth rows of etched characters, this time containing no errors. Sigma R87. The engineer rises proudly to his feet and says in his low Gothic language he clearly has not had much practice in. With sacred words and virtuous thoughts turned towards the machine god, I have been able to pacify the mechanism's wayward spirit. The Omnissiah blesses. Let's go with this one. How lucky we are that the venerable tech priests is so pious and wise. This statement is true. I recommend installing the 2 incenses burning units in this compartment to prevent the spirit's continuous anger. The unit Zachary Wise will provide with a list of minor recommendations, 142 in total, for improvements for this compartment. Maintenance failure to implement will result in sanction on the part of the Adeptus Mechanicus Priesthood. Okay. Receive the decoded documents. So what should we do now? Okay. So we need to speak with Chore Master Vice. Okay, so I think he's the main dude in this room. I think we already did this, right? Yeah.
Victory awaits!
We already fixed the transcribers. Let's speak with Zachary Weiss. Your Lordship, I have something for you. The Chore Master hands you a sheet of paper with the uniform lines of machinery type etched into it. Thanks to your assistance in repairing the compiler, we have been able to interpret a most curious message. It contains a call sign that agents of the renegade Vokvir used in their especially important reports. Could it be a message from Vokvir? He was more likely the intended recipient. When was the signal sent? I cannot say with certainty, Your Lordship. Following the repair work, I went through texts that had defied decoding before. This signal had lost its way in the bowels of the mechanism. It will be a week old or years. What does the message say? Only a few words. Lilamed Odanetus 11. The winds have ceased. It is done. Now Lilamed is Vokvir's call sign for special reports, but the rest is a code we are unfamiliar with. That said, we know where to look for the truth. The Odanetus 11 system. I will get to the bottom of that message. I have no doubt of that, Your Lordship. Okay, let's learn about Zachary Wise. Remind me who you are. The wrinkled face and drooping corners of the mouth look focused yet courteous at the same time. My name is Zachary Wise, Your Lordship. I am the Chore Master of the Astropathic Chore. I was posted to this ship soon after my soul-binding ritual on Holy Terra. You might say I have been serving House von Valetius all my life. Have you made a confession lately? The Chore Master replies, slightly perplexed. I beg Your Lordship pardon. The orphans on the ship have already been provided with the bare essential, have they not? I suppose you have a better idea of that than I do. It is something I have never thought about before, and on which I hardly have an opinion worth sharing, Your Lordship. Why are some destined to perish in the warp while others must go on living? How odd, he grimaces, thought with pain. Odd that you should have listened to my confession, and odd that you should choose to approach me afterwards. Why? Okay, so this was his confession. I felt there was anguish in that confession. I wanted to help. My confession made you anxious on my account, resulting in a waste of your time, for which I apologize. I am thankful for your consideration. He smiles, bittersweet smile. Death always keeps close to astropaths, and its punishments for arrogance and weakness are severe. I have seen my fellows die and at times the memories are exceedingly hard to bear. Sadly, almost every chore has a story like that, and survivor who has carried their ghost with them even since. Wheeze let out a ragged breath. My apologies, but I cannot continue worrying at these old wounds. Directing a chore requires a clear and firm state of mind. How did you like serving under Lady Theodora? I served her for 2 decades and never knew another Lord Captain before your ascension. With her I had been taught The chore master falls silently as a thought briefly transported in his mind to another place. A shadow of regret creeps on his face. Many things. Lady Theodora had a good understanding of my significance within the overall mechanism of the ship's services. Poorly concealed irritation creeps into the expression of regret on his face, which, however, did not stop her from neglecting my warnings. I am confused. So how old are you? If my calculations are correct, having factored in our movements through the warp, then I turned 34 a month and a half ago. Man, you look not well. There is a pause. You can't quite decide if the old man in front of you is joking, but there is not the slightest hint of a smile on his face. Tell me about the astropathic chore. Of course, Lord Captain. Is there something specific you like to know? What is this place? To us, astropaths, this place is our cradle and our grave, Lord Captain. You are at the conflux of every secret missive, every order of prime importance, every scheme being plotted behind the scenes. You are at the place where each of your loyal astropaths is ready to lay down their life for crumbs of information, if that is your wish. So basically these are similar with the World War II radio guys. Basically they listen to different transmissions. It's basically the same thing. We receive and send messages for hours, turning into days. We wander the dark depths of the immaterium, carrying our voice through the warp's eternal night, bring it to our comrades in some remote refuge, accepting the voice signals and missives of others into our own abode. Those are most often meant for you, your lordship, and at the times they are meant for no one. Point at the mechanical drum. What device is that? Okay, so is this one? It is a sacred compiler that helps us record, store, and to an extent unriddled messages. Astropaths first receive these messages in their form of modeled images dictating what they see to the machine, which logs their every word from the reel of the receivers of the ceiling. The machine record words are routed through lines under the floor into transcribers, and then the Tesseros core. This core is the most important part of the mechanism, as it contains a vast catalog of various symbols and the methods of their interpretation. Okay, these are not great. These basically the entire episode is made by dialogue. The compiler matches the images in the messages against its data and forwards the results to the central cogitator and myself so that I can begin the ritual of decoding. I know of no other chore that possesses so wise a mechanism, and I praise the God Emperor for its existence. However, while the compiler hastens the extraction of intelligible meaning from perplexing imagery, an astropath must still open their mind to interpretation, which is no less perilous than the rights of receiving or sending an astropathic message. If your machine knows the meaning of the symbols, why can't it decode the message itself? Regrettably for us all, your lordship, astropathic messages are not ciphered dispatches, but rather psychic imprints containing information. Only an astropath can read the entirety of something created through the medium of the warp. Furthermore, as messages pass to the immaterium, they might become distorted by malevolent intent. It falls to your servants alone to shield their minds with faith and separate the true meaning from their influence of ruinous powers. So if you want to hide a certain information for me, you could. Wise face twist into bitter grimace. My duty is to shield you from the monstrous communications that filter through the warp, the screams of the Emperor's loyal servants centuries dead by now, the nightmarish, maddening images of the Sea of Souls, the cursed symbols that cause astropaths to convulse in violent fits of frenzy, the messages from the abomination in search of weak minds to devour. Concealing all of that from you is my duty. How does one become an astropath? Wise gives you a polite smile. I will assume that you know the answers already, your lordship. You have walked a similar road yourself, even though you took a different turn than I. We are all part of the immaterial Tide Ones, Psykers delivered to Terra on the black ships, but only a few candidates had what it took to study astropathy. Fewer still successfully completed the grueling training to be eligible for the soul binding, and almost none survived the initiation. He throws his head back. We were given a privilege to behold the Emperor's light, a light flawless and searing. A pale smile visits his lips that changes you. It wounds you irreparably. It takes your eyesight, but in exchange you commune with greatness. His presence in our souls fortifies them as we stand against malicious powers. After the ritual, an astropath is assigned their position at this or that adeptus, an astropathic relay, or a ship. More often than not, our first place of service is our last. If something happens to our chore, where can I find new astropaths? The expression of his wrinkled face grew even more serious. It will be more on point to say when something happens. The Emperor's blessing protects us from the warp's various influences. However, there are horrors dwelling in the void for which even this defense will be no obstacle, especially if one spends as much time in their company as we do. There is only one way to procure astropaths, and that is through the Adeptus Administratum, luck permitting unattached astropaths from the sector will be posted to the ship ones who, for whatever reason, have lost their place of service. Failing that, the request will go to Terra and we will have to wait a long time. That said, there are no other options. Blasphemous, forbidden options. The Chore Master grimaces. Unsanctioned psychers, unprotected and broken souls who seldom live past their first few senses, but even those who do, should the great Emperor put our souls through severe trials. And judging by how rapid the warp has been of late, by the numbers of dead astropaths, those trials will be upon us sooner than our prayers could reach Terra. Idira. I know a couple of places where you can get a new astropath. Idira grins maliciously. That's of course if you don't insist on them bring all classy and proper like this Friday bunch. I want to discuss other topics. I'm listening carefully, Lord Captain. That odd noise inside the chapel, does it not bother you? On the contrary, Lord Captain. It is a mental focusing technique used by your flagship's chore, one that I invented myself. This music was written by an astropath. What my charges and I hear in it is not what ordinary people hear. Its true depth and beauty cannot be fathomed without the Emperor's blessing. The music protects our mind from your rudimentary thoughts, purifies and sharpens them. But above all else, it serves as a beacon of sorts amid the tumultuous sea of souls, a thread to lead us home from the deadly maze. We will speak later, Chore Master. I have business to attend to. Goodbye, your lordship. The Chore Master follows you with his utterly glowing gaze as you leave, then turns back to the cogitator. Okay, I don't think there's anything else to do here. Void Bridge, Astropathic Chapel, Void Shrine. Find makers of the confession. Okay. So we found one. The Chore Master has handed the Lord Captain suspicious messages containing Kunrad Voigvir's call sign. Okay. Okay, these are the main quests. These might be companions quest, or I don't know exactly what are these in progress. This one, I don't know exactly what this means. We have a rumor. Warden of the Expanse, Lone Inquisitor Zaveler Kalkar is a powerful and mysterious figure who plays a pivotal role in the fate of Coronos Expanse. His power is so great that it extends even over rogue traders. Okay. So we do not have a contract. Okay, let's go on the Void Bridge. Okay, I think the only thing that it's left here is to go on the Void Bridge. I don't think there's anything else here to do right now. Okay, so I think in the next episode, what's happening? Are we going to? Yeah. Okay, so no, stay here. We have this quest, right? We have a rumor here. Is this a rumor? I think this is the Thunderfang, right? We have bought everything from them. Okay. I'm level 17, the profit factor. I think we need to arrive at 21 to get everything. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go on the Void ship. We can upgrade the ship if we like. I think we assigned the posts, right? So I'm the Supreme Commander. I'm not that great at this, to be honest. I think I'm better as a Master Cannoneer. I think our navigator friend Cassia is better as a Supreme Commander. Pascal is really nice as a Shield Master. Yeah, Abelard is in a good position. I think I'm gonna put Idira here, and I think the only one that's left is let me check. I can put Argenta and go like this, right? I can also upgrade the ship if I like. Right now we need level, right? To get things for the ship. We have anything here? No component available. We already have these. Upgrade RAM. I think this is for the ship fights. Let's upgrade the hull, why not? Let's do it. We can downgrade if we like. We got some HP. Okay, let's where is it? Let's go on the ship. Okay, so I think this is it for this episode. I think we will continue into the next one. I'm gonna speak with most of the senior officers on the deck and find out who made those confessions. But for the moment, I think this is a really good spot where we can end this episode. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was packed with dialogue, but at least we are moving forward with the story. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.